Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope all of you are fit and fine at home. So now let's start with our social science class. And in social science, students, today we will discuss about chapter 2, the northern mountain walls. And in this chapter, what we will discuss today? We will discuss the topics, we will do the book exercise, read and gain activity. We will read something, read some information, and then we will gain the knowledge from that paragraph. Yes, and the second we will do the life skill activity. We will learn something new. So now let's start with our read and gain activity. Now read and gain. What do you mean by read and gain? Read more, gain more. So what does read and gain means? That if we read more, we will gain more. Yes, we will have more knowledge if we will read about different things. Yes, so just let's start what we will read today. How are mountains formed? So we will read that how are mountains formed. We will take the knowledge, we will gain the knowledge about the mountains, that how mountains are formed. Yes, so let's start. Scientists think that most mountains were created by gigantic collision. So the scientists think that most of the mountains were created by gigantic collision. What is gigantic collision? Gigantic collision means, what is gigantic? Gigantic means that a very great size or a very huge, huge part or piece, and collision means it hits when very large piece of anything hits each other. Maybe it could be a earth crust, it could be a earth plates. So when a very great size or very huge things hit or crashes with each other, the mountains are formed. But what are those things? By when they hit to each other, the mountains are formed. We will understand in the other slides. Like mountains are formed, you can see the picture down. Mountains are formed by slow but gigantic movements of the earth's earth crust. So mountains are formed by slow gigantic movements of the earth crust. So when in the earth crust, there is very huge movements. So the mountains are formed, and these gigantic movements of earth's crust is also known as plate convergence. So when the plates inside the earth crust have a very huge movements, and these movements, movements of earth crust, are also known as plate convergence. Okay, students. So now you understood how scientists think, why scientists think that there are most mountains were created by gigantic collision. So we will understand in another slide that how these mountains are formed, how the mountains are formed by gigantic collisions. Parts of our earth crust smashed together and plates slid under one another. Gradually, the top plate was squeezed and pushed up. So how the earth crust smashed together? So the parts of earth crust. There is a crust in the earth. We have a earth crust. So a part of our earth crust smashed together means it is crushed together, or they hit together. And they hit very badly that the plates slid under one another. So the plates which are there in the earth's crust, they slid under one another. Gradually what happened? The top plate was squeezed and pushed up. So the top plate gradually squeezed, it is being squeezed, it is being crushed, and it is being pushed up. You can see in this picture, here in this picture there is a collide. Yes, so you can see the picture that there is a picture of the earth plates, and there are plates which are smashed together. They are being hit together, and then these slides, these plates are being slid under one another. And gradually what is happening? That the top plate is coming and squeezing, and it is pushed towards upside. Yes, it is squeezing and pushed towards upside. Now we will study Mount Everest and Himalayas were created when the land together, that is India, slammed into Asia. So Mount Everest and the Himalayas were created when the land which is today called as India was slammed into Asia. So how it happens, we will see, we will understand with the help of this picture. So what does the slam mean? Slammed. Slam means when we shut forcefully or loudly, when anything, a door, a window, or a lid, or anything which is being shut very forcefully or loudly, then that is known as slammed. Okay, so the Mount Everest and Himalayas were created when the land today, that is India, when the land India was slammed, when the land India was pushed very forcefully into Asia, then the mountains were formed, and those mountains were Mount Everest and Himalayas. You can see here with the help of this picture that the Indian Australian plates has been slammed into European plates, Eurasian plates, and then when they were slammed into Asia, then Mount Everest and Himalayas were created. Now you understood, students, how mountains are formed. Mountains are formed when the earth crust and is being is being crushed very badly, and then the plates are being slid into one another. They slid into one another, and the top plate is being squeezed and pushed towards upward. Then the mountains are formed. So we gain a knowledge that how mountains are formed. Now we will take second knowledge. We will read second lines, second paragraph, and we will understand what knowledge we will get from this paragraph. So we will talk about Kashmir. The name Kashmir probably comes from two words. Yes, so Kashmir is a word which comes from two words. The first word is Ka meaning water and Shamir meaning dried. So Kashmir word is probably made from two words, that is Ka and Shamir. Ka meaning water and Shamir means dried. So dried water. Kashmir means dried water. According to legend, it was created when sage Kashyapa or Rishi Kashyapa was, dried the lake, and local people call it Kashir. So local people call it Kashir. So what does legend means? Legend means a traditional story, sometimes popularly regarded as historical. Yes, so a legend is a very traditional, very old story which has been popularly regarded as historical, but not, it is not very an authentic. Means it is not, it doesn't mean that it is true, but it is a story, historical story, which the people have been telling one to the another person. So now we've understood how Kashmir word was made. Kashmir word was probably coming from two words. First is ka meaning water, and Shamir meaning dried. So dried water. But according to the old stories, traditional stories, a legend, it was created when Rishi Kashyapa drained a lake, and the local people call it Kashir. Okay, this is Kashmir. So now we will move to our today's second topic, that is life skills. And what are life skills, students? When we talk about protecting wildlife, we are talking about preserving a complex natural network. Yes, so not even man, the most powerful living being, and exists by himself. Take those sentences which are true in the context of maintaining nature's delicate balance. So we have to take all those sentences which are true in context of maintaining natural delicate balance. If we want to protect our wildlife, we are talking about preserving a complex and natural network. And not only we are preserving our wildlife, we also protect our man, our human beings, and the most powerful living being that can exist by himself. Yes, so we will take the sentences which are true in context of maintaining nature's delicate balance. Let's take. Clearing of forests to build cities or increase agricultural land is the greatest threat to wildlife. So, if we clear the forest to build cities or increase agricultural land, it is a great threat to wildlife. So, we should do it or not? Is this sentence true in context of maintaining nature's delicate balance? Yes or no? So the answer is yes, because if we are clearing the forest to build cities or increasing agriculture land, yeah, it is a greatest threat to wildlife also. Now, our country is very poor in its variety of wildlife. So, is it this sentence is in the context of maintaining nature's delicate balance? No, because it is talking about our country, that our country is having very poor variety of wildlife, but it is not true. Yes. Third sentence, destroying forests lead to killing of natural habitat of animals. So this is true because in a sentence in the context of maintaining nature's delicate balance. So we will do a tick that destroying forest will lead in killing of the natural habitat, the home of the animals, the living place of the animals. Yes. The fourth sentence is preserving our forest is not essential for our well-being. So this sentence is true or false? Preserving our forest is not essential for our well-being. It is false because preserving of forest is essential for our well-being. If we will preserve our forest, our wildlife will be protected, and we as a human, our forest, our trees will be protected, and they are essential for a human life also. So it is not true. Hunting animals for sports and for ivory for fur is not prohibited. So hunting animals for sports and ivory or fur is not prohibited. Is it true or false? It is false because hunting of animals for sports for ivory or fur is prohibited. They are being prohibited. Now no one can hunt the animal for their welfare. Yes, so this sentence is wrong. Animal, birds, trees, insects, worms, soil, water, and air are closely linked in the cycle of life. So this sentence is true in context of maintaining nature's delicate balance, because if animals, birds, trees, insects, worms, soil, water, and air, all these things are closely linked with each other in the cycle of life. So this is true. And second sentence, fourth sentence, and fifth sentence is wrong. First sentence, third sentence, and sixth sentence is correct. So you can just do the tick and wrong in this life skill activity. So now students, today we have discussed about the read and gain activity. We have understood how mountains are formed. We gained a knowledge that how mountains are formed and how our Mount Everest and Himalayas were formed. Yes. And the second thing we did was a life skill activity in which we understood that to maintain a natural balance, natural cycle, we have to preserve our wildlife, we have to preserve our forest, and we have to also take care of human life. Till then, just see this video once again and try to understand about the new things which you learned today. Thank you and have a nice day, students.